A disturbing story out of Kansas City. The family of a teenager says the boy was shot after knocking on the wrong door. He was trying to pick up his younger brothers when the homeowner fired. That teen was released from the hospital today.
Police released the shooter after only 2 hours in custody and not charging him. The sheriff was asked about the role of race in the case.
The AP saying an 84-year-old white man accused of shooting Ralph Yarl, a black teenager, pleads not guilty in court. We were seeing this video here from a little bit earlier on Live Now from Fox at the arraignment taking place there. You can see the 84-year-old getting up with a cane there in the background as Andrew Lester.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome to Visible Truth Media, and I'm your host, Dirty God. Today's episode is about a 16-year-old boy who was shot in the head by a white man for no reason other than knocking on his door. This white man's name is Andrew Lester. Andrew Lester stated that he was in fear of his life when he pled not guilty and doubled down that he is not a racist, but out of nowhere, his grandson has come out and spoke about just how racist that his grandfather is. I got a question for you. Do you guys think that this should be a hate crime? And what is the black community gonna do about this? We're gonna jump straight into it. I'm gonna give y'all all the details. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell because it really helps us out, man. Let's get it. This is Ralph Yarl. Now let's give praise to whoever you worship, whether it be Allah, Buddha, the universe, or the ancestors, that this young man did not transcend on this day so he can continue his journey. He is now home and recovering. How did this bullet go into this young man's head and did not cause even more extensive damage? It's truly a miracle, people are saying. It is reported that Yarl is having trouble with his speech and movement from the traumatic brain injury, but he's getting better and is expected to pull through. Okay? So that's the good news about this whole situation. So how did this whole ordeal take place? On April 13th at about 10 p.m., Ralph Yarl, the 16-year-old boy, went to go pick up his twin brothers, but mistakenly went to the wrong house about a block away. It is said when Yarl rang the doorbell, Andrew Lester shot up twice through the glass door with the .32 caliber revolver, striking him in the head and forearm. Yarl then ran to multiple homes, bloody, asking for help. And finally, somebody came out and heard his call. And the man that came out and called the police name is James Lynch. And I'm just glad that somebody actually came out and helped him. I mean, he's sitting here knocking on multiple doors and nobody was able to help him. You gotta leave Kansas City. But anyway, James Lynch stated that he heard somebody screaming, "Help, help, I've been shot," and then collapsed. He then came out and checked the boy's pulse. And when another neighbor came out with towels to stem the bleeding, paramedics shortly arrived. Andrew Lester, 84, of Kansas City, accused of shooting the black teenager, pled not guilty to first-degree assault and armed criminal action. He turned himself in and since has been released on bond. Now, it is reported that he was only released on bond because the authorities are waiting to get a formal statement from the 16-year-old boy. I think that's bogus and something got to be done about this situation. But for anybody that want to interview this man, he is out on bond. He free. So tell me why you could be free after doing a hate crime. But I'm not about to get carried away. Let's just get back into it. Lester could be faced with a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted of first-degree assault. His other charge, armed criminal action, is punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Conditions of his bond include monitoring his cell phone, and he is not allowed to have any weapons of any type, and also a stipulation that Lester must not have contact with Yarl or his family. Some advocates have called for him to be charged with hate crimes, but Clay County prosecutor Zachary Thompson said first-degree assault is a higher level state crime with a longer sentence. Now, prosecutors and media have gotten all over this case, and it took a crazy turn once this man's grandson came out and spoke to the public about how he believes his grandfather is racist, and the signs have already been shown. His name is Clint Ludwig. When he learned his grandfather had shot a black teenager that rang his doorbell, he was repulsed but not surprised. He was interviewed by Kansas City Star and CNN and stated that the warning signs were there. "I wasn't shocked when I heard the news, and I believe he holds racist tendencies and beliefs." Ludwig's older brother Daniel was also interested and reportedly disputed the notion that race played a role for what his grandfather did. Daniel Ludwig doesn't think his grandfather would have opened fire had Ralph not gone for the door, so he says. Lester told the police he fired immediately after answering the doorbell when he saw Ralph pulling on an exterior door handle, according to the probable cause document obtained by CNN. Ralph said he never pulled on the door. He rang the doorbell and waited before a man eventually opened the door and immediately shot him in the head, documents stated. While the teenager was still on the ground, the gunman fired again, shooting him in the arm. Those are words from Ralph. Now, while the Ludwig brothers have different views about their grandfather, both say the shooting is unfortunate. Clint Ludwig also said he supports the wounded teen and criticizes grandfather's actions. I was disgusted. I thought it was terrible. We, myself, and my family stand with Ralph Yarl in seeking justice, Clint Ludwig said. This is a horrible tragedy that never should have happened. When asked why he decided to speak out about his grandfather, he replied, "This is the right thing to do." Clint also said, too often in the U.S., people get away with killing unarmed black innocent people. People need to speak out, he said, and not make any excuses for this kind of behavior and this violence. He said that he was disturbed by the racial comments made by his grandfather in the past, including about black people. He said his grandfather believed in right-wing conspiracy theories and was influenced by the fear and paranoia by the same right-wing media, which was often blaring in his living room. Now, we don't need the whole family to come out and say what their grandfather did or their family member did was wrong. All we need is that one family member, and it's the grandson, for him to come out and speak on his grandfather and let us know what's going on, what we already know. This solves it right here. This should be a hate crime and more charges should be brought. You understand what I'm saying? For all we know, this could be something that the grandfather was planning his whole life, man. Who knows? I just don't understand why somebody can be knocking at your door and you can just come out and shoot them, and then you stand over them once you see it's a child. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have the right to defend your home, but something like this, man, this shouldn't be happening. Now, my question to you guys would be, what do you think would have happened if he would have killed this boy and then told the police that he was trying to break into his home? Would that be a closed case? Luckily, he survived and he was able to tell his story, because now it's a whole situation behind it, man. I'm just thankful for that, man. We're gonna send nothing but positive energy to this child right here. It doesn't matter if he was a criminal or not, but he wasn't. He's a smart kid. You can look him up and you can see the type of things that he's doing right now. But I'm just glad, man. I'm just glad that he was able to survive, man. And then for the grandson to come out and do what he did, he must be fed up. It's kind of shocking that, you know, you could be that racist and your grandson looks like he's of African descent. I mean, I'm not no scientist or nothing like that. I don't know what he identifies as, but to me, it looks like he's of African descent. So, you know, that's a good thing that he came out and did that. Fuck Daniel. I mean, forget his other brother, Daniel. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really care about what you got to say. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, that's the situation that we have right here, man. I'm gonna keep y'all up to date on what's going on. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. Peace till next time.